Hello and welcome to Warrior Bowl Live Week 3. Back as always with Foley, and we are joined again for the second week on the trot by Kev.
Super
how are we doing,
Kev.
gents?
I'm like the practice squad guy that always gets activated when the real stars are away. So
What's the rules for
100%.
that? Can you do that like 2 weeks in a row? Then you've got to sign into the active roster. Because if that's true, then we are screwed.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
We don't have the money for that.
we're going to have to call JB next week, aren't we?
Oh man.
You can cut me and hope that I clear waivers that no others live Wednesday streams claim me. So
I feel confident in that.
yeah, I did enjoy the new intro though. So
Good.
It's quite relaxing music.
I was hoping it was going to have like a previously on Warrior Bowl, and then there'd be a clip of Foley going, "So are there playoffs and how do they work?"
We should do that.
We did try our own custom intro one time. It didn't go very well.
Was that the one that went from 10 to 3 and then suddenly we were live?
Yeah.
No.
Pretty much,
No,
yeah.
7, then 4, then 2, then 42. Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't go so well. We'll stick with the default ones. But yeah, how are we, chaps?
Very good, thank you. A little bit tired.
He says, sipping his massive glass of wine.
Uh-huh. I brought the bottle up just in case. It's Wednesday.
No one's surprised.
I feel like the other side of Foley's scale is like I've had to put a tennis wristband on because I've got mouse cramp from being an IT person. So, it's like if anyone out there is playing like fantasy IT nerds, they'll be like, "Oh no, Kev's probable. You might not be able to fix the printer Saturday."
How are you, Mr. Warrior Bowl?
I'm all right. Just as you well know, we are hopefully moving house very soon, and just dealing with the many joys of dealing with solicitors and other such people. So, yeah, not fun in the slightest.
Don't do it, kids.
But yeah, hopefully we're nearly there. So,
take your mind off it with a Warrior Bowl.
100%. Before we kick off properly, though, I just have a small apology to make. So, earlier in the year, we were very kindly given the opportunity by Mr. John Bosch to do a Warrior Bowl Eliminator League for Fantasy Cares. And we completely forgot to mention it last week, which obviously that was the first week with all the excitement of week 1. And it's a crying shame that we didn't mention it last week, because the first week of our very first Warrior Bowl Eliminator and the first person eliminated in week 1 was Foley.
It's the right thing to do, isn't it, for the people? That's what you said, right? You
said something like that. Yeah,
sabotage yourself to let the people win it, right?
The people have won just by hearing this news.
Exactly. So
I mean, I personally found out when Greg sent me abuse. I didn't know this until Greg sent me abuse. So that's not a nice way to find out either.
I presume you'll be back for the playoffs of whatever format they're running for that.
Apparently, that's how the playoffs work. Yeah.
So I'm just disappointed that I've missed out on a whole week of giving you grief for being the first out in our own eliminator. But
I understand your pain.
Get that in the intro.
We should do. We'll work on that. So anyway,
how does that actually work then? So the rest of the people still in that up until are you in that one?
Yeah,
I'm not in that. No. Neither are you though. So there is more people not in it than in it.
I didn't know I was in it, to be honest, until I got abuse. So
and by that point you were already back out of it.
That's right. Yeah, I could have tried. Is it best ball?
Yeah.
I should pay more attention.
Yeah, it's best ball. That's probably why we missed it last week. But yeah, you went out first week. Craig Tully went out this week. So yeah, exactly. Everyone else is still in. But yeah, anyway, back to main Warrior Bowl. How did you chaps get on this week? Foley, go on. You can.
Why are you doing it, man? Why are you doing it? Why are you nudging? Why are you poking? Why are you poking?
Don't know what you mean, mate.
I got a what do they call it? A shellacking. Hell lacking. Who did I have? So Brady did all right. Everyone else did absolutely crap. Well, no, Kelsey did all right because he's Kelsey, but everyone else was pretty poor. But I came up against Aaron Jones, man. I mean, that's the vast majority. Actually, take his numbers out, take 40 off there, and I didn't actually get beat by.
You're close.
Yeah, closer, I suppose. Yeah, and Daniel Carlson as well. You come up against that buzzsaw of a kicker. That's your weird kicking, bloody scoring. That is. That's done me.
Good.
Yeah. So yeah,
it was all worth it.
I lost. I think I'll be all right this week. Actually, I'm slightly favoured to win this week, but I think the matchups I've got for my team this week look all right. So I think I'll be all right. I think I'll get back to 2-1. I reckon.
We'll see. Yeah. To be fair, you were projected to score 221 last week, and you only managed to 148. So
no way. Oh yeah,
that's what it says.
Oh god, that's awful. Then I am the worst manager. I think I was actually as well.
Oh, you didn't get that sick burn from Sleeper, did you? On the
I think I did. Let me check. You crack on and I'll check, but I'm pretty sure I did.
Thanks, mate.
Oh no, I didn't.
Okay.
Also a loss, much closer than Foley's.
It's close.
The thing that will haunt me here is last week, previously on Warrior Bowl, you both laughed at me because I said I was picking up Hunter Renfrow. If I played him instead of Brandon Ayuk like I was going to, I'm sitting here 2-0 right now.
Oh, but Kevin.
I saw that he practiced, he did a full day, and I was thinking, you know what, this is Ayuk's going to come back. I've named my team after him. I can't bail on him after 1 week for a third down specialist. And like watching the game with my Raiders bias, I'd say that Renfrow was awesome. Kept catching first downs, moving the chains, stuff that gets him some extra points, I believe. I've got that right. Yeah. So if I trusted myself. So yeah, I was putting it Sunshine, not you. Okay. But yeah, kind of happy that my 0 RBs are still working. Had an incredible week from McCollin. I've let him down. I was pleased with that because, as you guys know, I'm a huge McCollin truther. So yeah, but other stuff has gone against me. So
yeah, it's a good week that for McLaurin, isn't it? Yeah, especially with Heineke as well. So, your RB there, David Johnson.
Yeah. So
my word. But you got Pitts is going to come really good though in the next few weeks. I think he'll start.
Saw that he looked a bit better in some of the highlights. A lot of people like to watch the 40-minute recap. I don't have time for that. I just have time for the highlights. So it's like if a player isn't standing out on them, he's just not on my radar, sadly, at the minute. So
yeah, I think you'd be right. I think Pitts will start to come good.
I like Pitts for this week against the Giants, especially if Gage is out as well. Not that he's done a huge amount, but that's just one less person to target, isn't it? So
I think he is out, isn't
he? That's what I saw earlier. Yeah, it looks like he's going to be, but
Yeah, I think you'd be good there. I think Pitts will get a lot of targets then. He'll get on Gage's targets and an increase in targets naturally because he's Pitts. Come on then. How did you do, Mr. Bowl? Stand up, take your top off, give us a twirl. Come on.
I'm off the mark. So after getting Aaron Rodgers last week with his -4 or whatever he had, in spite of Jameis Winston doing his best effort to try and derail me with another minus score, I did have the benefit of Derrick Henry. So,
oh man, that's cheating.
So he contributed to my downfall last week, but he's bailed me out this week. So yeah, a nice score, nice, reasonably convincing win. So against John Hesterman of DLF, so that's quite a nice little scalp there as well. So yeah, decent score. Rodgers, pleased to see him get back and put up a decent amount of points after that first week because that was disastrous. Obviously, Henry was massive. Zeke much better than he was the first week.
What's the story with your third QB? Have you got one?
I've got 3 more QBs on my bench.
What?
Yeah. Do you want to know who they are?
Yeah.
I'll tell you who they are.
Not worth a damn.
They're not this week because it's Tua.
No.
Dalton,
No.
and Tyrod.
It's like a scrapyard of middling passing ability.
The three QBs who've just been injured yesterday.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Good, isn't it?
Yeah, and
Pretty
you've got Winston at the Patriots.
Yeah, I'm not feeling confident about that. So
okay, let's talk 1 and 2, and let's go from there. Okay.
Exactly. But yeah, last week basically my entire bench was out. I had Will Fuller out, I had Evan Engram out, Jameson Crowder out, Judy IR, and now all those guys out as well. So
get busy on the waiver. Get busy on the waiver.
When was Fuller back? Was it this week or was he back
this week?
He was unsuspended last week, but he didn't play for personal reasons.
Right.
Yeah. He's back.
I don't know what that was, but he should be. They've said he should be back this week. So
I'm not. Are you playing him though with Brissett throwing in the ball like the Raiders? Nope.
Did you hear what the rest of my bench was?
yeah. I've got an injured guy, a guy with one leg, a guy with no head, and
I think it's him or Adam Humphries at this point. So
PPR first downs.
I am very impressed though that you got such a strong score from Elle McPherson at kicker. So
thanks, mate.
Nice to see that she's transitioned away from supermodel to.
If you've got the body, you've got the legs. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Got a body of work, Foley.
Nice. Thank you.
Dear.
Good pun work.
Moving on. So yes, game of the week. So a few of the other matchups from Waivers. The game of the week. So this is the highest scoring game of the week. So it was Genghis Khan division. So 439 points put up. So Kyle Lane, who I think we all know, he's in a league with us. And he put up 241.5 versus Moncal 197. So some decent scores. Yeah, Aaron Jones involved in that one again. Kyler, McLaurin again.
Yeah. Rondale though, that's a good start from Moncal.
He looked in the highlights I saw. He was all over them. So it was a lot of him in those 4 minutes on Game Pass. That's real analysis.
He's started fantastically well, hasn't he? I think a lot of people liked him. Yeah, a lot of people liked him, but I don't think many people expected him to start as quickly as he has. But
no, I didn't see it. I thought I was one of those people who just thought he was too small, sat behind Hopkins and maybe Kirk/Green, and I just didn't. I thought he'd be a gadget play. I thought he'd be a boom bust type thing. But my word, he looks super, doesn't he?
Well, Kyler's flying as well, isn't he? So it's part of that. But I liked him beforehand. I thought he had a good opportunity to get some reasonable volume because AJ Green is basically dust. Kirk, up until this point, had done very little, but all of a sudden it seems to have had some sort of resurgence. So there was definitely an opportunity there for him to get plenty of work, but I don't think I anticipated it happening this quickly. But that's the highest scoring match for the week. So the biggest blowout. So with a winning margin of 121 points. So that was the Rocky Balboa division. That's Turtles and M.Dub. So 253 to 132.
That's not fair, though, is it? You start Kamara, you start Tyreek Hill, you start Pitts, you start Godwin. Yeah, and you get absolutely hammered. That's not fair. Greg.
Sorry, mate. It's my fault.
We need a referee to get involved here and make that person feel good. Send them a hug.
I wonder what odds you would have got on Marvin Jones outscoring both Kamara and Tyreek in the same game week.
I don't think he had a good game either, but yeah, he did, didn't he? Oh, 11 targets. Oh, yeah. Jeez Louise. Yeah. I think a lot of final teams or division winning teams or finalist teams are going to have one of Jones or Henry on their teams, aren't they? And which I don't, which makes me sad.
Well, that was a lot of teams had Kamara, didn't they, last year?
Yeah.
That went deep into the playoffs because he had a good run towards the end of the year. But yeah, so that's the biggest margin of victory. The narrowest victory, which was 0.39 points, And I saw these guys had actually put it on Twitter the other day. So Omega King and Jeezy from Anybody Can Get It, 147.35 to 147.74.
That is nasty.
Very close.
Look at some of those fruity starts as well.
Especially when you got like
smart starts.
You lost and Dak and Amari Cooper combined for like 14 points. That's Clyde Edwards-Helaire 1.9. So a lot of people on Twitter not happy with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, understandably so.
Wait a second. Just as an aside, Kev and I are currently in the midst of a negotiation about me potentially buying Clyde off him, and I may rethink my strategy. That's bad.
You might need to lower your price.
Yeah, don't focus on his score. Focus on his high volume, and he almost never fumbles.
13 carries is not high volume.
Yes,
I had 13 carries last night.
You shut your damn mouth. Close your eyes. Stop looking at that.
That is bad. Let me just add a few picks to that. I'll just add a few picks. Hang fire. Add a few picks. 2 firsts.
So, and then the next one. So the Better Lucky Than Good award. So the lowest winning score of Warrior Bowl this week was 115 points. So that was Brad Levo in the Maori division.
I think I enjoy those ones more than the big ones. When you sneak a win, it's a sly win. You've got MVS scoring no points and walking in like this.
You've got absolutely no right to have got yourself a win, and you're cruising on through 2-0.
Love it.
So some very disappointing scores there.
I've only just clocked Zach Wilson's is minus. I just presumed that was 9. It was minus.
He did not have a good day, did he?
No, I think if you've got any of their skill players on your roster, they're probably going to let you down.
Well,
you know who had not a bad game? You know who had not a bad game for the Jets?
Michael Carter looked all right.
Michael Carter.
He looked all right. He looked better than he has done in week 1, yeah. But it is against New England, and New England know what to do against rookie QBs and early system coaches and stuff, don't they?
Yeah, so. the Pats always are a nightmare, aren't they, for rookie QBs? So it's not a big surprise that Wilson struggled. But Michael Carter, I liked him at the start of the season. I made some ridiculous bold claim that I'm not going to repeat, but
what was it?
Couldn't possibly remember.
That's the truth. Is he on waivers? He's not going to be on waivers, is he?
No, I don't. My worry with Carter is I've got him in a few places and not put him in, but I have the feeling that as soon as you put him in, he's going to get a broken collarbone from the terrible blocking or like the terrible scheme. So it's just like it just has that feeling. I
think his workload's going to increase as the year goes on. Obviously, Tevin Coleman got the start, but there's been pants. Yeah. So
who could have foreseen that happening?
Shocker! I know. Who knew? But so they're the big matchups from the week. So the leaderboard. So again, we've posted this on Twitter. It's on the website, on the warriorbowl.com website, so you can check it out there if you want to. It's also got on there the divisions or the standings for every division across the whole tournament. So if you want to see how everyone else is getting on in the other divisions, you can see that on there as well. But we have a new leader after week 2. So Philly Sun is the new leader with 462 points so far.
Nice.
Rounding out the top 5. So we've got Aston Phil, Renfronius, who was there last week as well. I think he was near the top last week as well. Dom Clee and the Dukes.
Bruce Lee and Rocky Balboa have got a couple of people right up there at the top, haven't they? That's
they have,
two strong divisions, aren't they?
Well, Turtles, that's on there. We already mentioned him in the biggest blowout. He had the highest score of the week, 253 points.
Wow.
He's shot himself back up the leaderboard. Most importantly, though, Foley has dropped down from being in 3rd to outside the top 10.
Got to take a week off.
That is good news for everyone. Do you know where you are currently?
How are you getting on, Greg?
I'm 1-1, same as you.
How's the place points ranking?
I'm about 200 places behind you.
I had no idea. I thought I'd actually be below you now, but that makes
No.
So,
So you're at 33.
Woohoo!
So last week I was 395,
Right.
and I've climbed up to 235 this week.
Oh, well, that's a good
So,
increase.
Good climb. Kev's 191. So
Go on, Kev.
Just in the pack, ready to join the peloton.
Exactly. But and we mentioned last week Tim Manser, one of the other finalists. He's still in the top 20s at 16. So the only one of the finalists from last year that's in the top 20.
Good shooting.
So doing well. Next. So then these are the two skirmish best ball leagues we mentioned last year. This year we've done a best ball league for the first time because we had so many people sign up. So these are the two divisions, the two standings, and so the leader, same as last week. So AZ Surprise was top of the leaderboard for the best ball last week, still is this week, 431 points in total scored across the 2 weeks.
It's done on total points, not on record, right?
What? The leaderboard?
Yeah, well, no, not the leaderboard, but in general, the league winner. Or is it done on
the record
system?
Record, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because I'm the commish.
Yeah, no.
About
that. That one you do need to know how it works because you're running that one.
Yeah, nice to be reminded of the important details.
It's like he's so deep in his role of playing the heel that he doesn't even know how his own league works.
Oh dear.
We'll figure it out come week 13. That's when it starts, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Something like that.
Okay.
No, I don't think it is, but we'll move swiftly on. So waivers. So nobody went full fab this week. Nobody went crazy. On that point, how are you feeling this week if you did? I know you guys didn't, but if you had have gone full fab on Elijah Mitchell, and he put up 9.75 points this week.
And he's injured, right?
I feel a bit like we were quite smart in calling this, and it's a bit like when you say to your kid, "You get down from there, you're going to hurt yourself," and then they hurt themselves, and you said, "I told you so." It doesn't make you feel any better. They're still crying, and you still have to deal with that. It's like we warned you. We warned you that this was going to happen. And just like even before, because I think he got hurt or pulled out the game at some stage.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
It's just
he's day to day now, I think.
So even before that happened, he was already being spelled, rotated. They were like getting the hot dog seller out and giving him the odd carry. It's just like no one has got any sympathy if you were one of those people crying that he wasn't what you thought you were going to be.
So he had 17 carries, so he got a reasonable amount. That's more than Clyde Edwards-Helaire had.
Stop it. I'm adding another pick. I'm adding another pick to the trade for that quip.
Kev,
you're gonna have to pay extra.
17 carries for 42 yards and 2 receptions for 11 yards. So I mean, he got plenty of 19 touches. That's a good amount of touches, but are you optimistic that he improves, or do you think that's about it?
I'm optimistic that he ends up back on the practice squad somehow, or he ends up in the Texans or like the Jaguars or somewhere like that. So,
best course of action to completely ignore the 49ers backfield. It is, isn't it? Because you got Jeff Wilson Jr. is going to be back. What, week 7? Is it? Is he on PUP? Is he, or is it IR?
Pass.
Yeah. Well, he's going to be back in a couple of weeks, isn't he? Maybe 3 or 4 weeks. And he's going to go straight back into leading the rotation at worst, right? Because he was touted as potentially the lead back even with Mostert there. He's going to be sharing time with him. So as soon as Wilson comes back, he's going to go straight back in. If I could put him on the IR, I would. But some clever bugger in my league's already done it. I think he's going to be really valuable down the stretch, assuming he doesn't get injured. So no, I've got absolutely zero time for him or for Sermon or for the hot dog seller. Or
like you could just Shanahan, he's on the sideline with his magic 8 ball, and he's like, right, run play. The player going in is where's Hasty?
Injured. Damn. Hot dog seller.
Or do I do a pass? It's like And it's like I see that he's on there, and another team that I just wouldn't spend any fab running backs is the Rams, because they're another one that I feel like you can't fully trust what they are going to do. And so 77 fab on Michelle. I get this is very on the spectrum. Don't like the fact that he's wearing the wrong uniform. That does bug me with the players. So I would take 10 off for that straight away. And it's just like, I know he might have a great week, he might have a huge week, but then he's going to go back into wearing the wrong uniform. He's going to go back into that kind of rotation pool, or have a week where he, for some reason, I feel like you might only get 4 touches if you're a Rams back, even if you've had a good week. I just feel like they're in one of those teams that coach their team based on its real life ability and real life situational awareness, rather than people's fantasy takes or fantasy needs, which is very selfish of them, I get. But I just they're one of those teams that I feel like I've been burned by too much.
Yeah, I do like the McKissick pickup.
Yeah, I like that as well.
He was outstanding for me in last year's Warrior Bowl. He got me to the final. He was a really big part of the last few games for me, because he was 19, 20 points, 24 points. He was really, really good, especially because it's PPR. He was all over the teams who got to the final. I think the Justin Fields one is really, really risky. The fact that you're dropping Darnold, who, what's he had? 17 points, 20 points, something like that in the first 2 weeks. So he's not been fantastic, but Fields feels like a risk. I'm starting him in a dynasty league that I need to win, and I feel terrified, because he could 35 points, 4 rushing touchdowns, or he could 4 interceptions, walk off the field, slap Nagy in the face, and say, "End of, mate. I've had enough of this. I'm out." It could be one of the two. Nowhere in between.
Well, Nagy's already said today that Dalton is the starter once he's healed again, isn't he? It's like, what if Fields has like a Herbert style explosion, and like this is like you can't be saying, like, I get that Dalton looks great with his new beard, like, I'm very, as someone who is facially challenged, I appreciate his beard, but you can't be saying stuff like, oh yeah, this other guy's definitely coming back in. It just makes me think that they don't have confidence in Fields or
themselves, or their sanity.
Or like, it's a good week to have one of the Bears running backs, because they might be like, oh, we've got a rookie QB, let's try and run it 55 times because it's 1982. So.
Did you see, Kev? Did you see who that was that picked up Fields?
I do, yeah, I do.
Is that Matt?
It is Butler. So not shaming too much, but not long after he made that pick, he was talking about where he could get paid for fantasy advice, wasn't he? So still stacking up now.
He did ask us that today. Yeah,
he did ask us that today. Yeah.
So. I didn't check what the other bids were, but I'm guessing he paid significantly more than he would have needed to. But I mean, I feel like, you're right. Dropping Darnold seems unnecessary. Surely you had somebody else on your roster, some roster clogger somewhere you could have chopped rather than Darnold. But Davis Mills, $109.
I wouldn't start. I'd start a wide receiver. I think I'd start maybe that hot dog man, because he sounds like he's pretty good. This hot dog man, Kev. I don't know where you've got him from, mate. I don't know where you picked him up from.
Good accuracy.
Well, he got to the, I think it. Sauce. He can get to the edge. Yeah.
What do we think about Patterson? $85 on Cordell Patterson, and he was a popular one. That's the most he went for in any league, but he went for quite a lot. He went for over 50 in a lot of leagues.
He went for 0 in mine, and I don't think anyone else even bid. So,
really,
having seen him play for my actual team, I'm just very aware of the fact that he'll get maybe 6 carries for -6 yards this week. Now that maybe teams have been like, oh yeah, sometimes they give him the carries. It'd be different maybe if they transition to him to like a full-on like running back or H-back role, but I don't know. I'd be wary, unless you're absolutely desperate. I'd be wary that it's going to be unsustainable. So
because we have seen him do this in the past. He had flashed and had big games, maybe not as big as this, and then he's just gone back to being largely irrelevant.
I even remember Del Rio making a tweet about it before, like, "Oh, Cordell Patterson carrying from the backfield. If only someone had thought of that before," because obviously he had tried it, and I don't think he'd been the first. So,
yeah, And then right at the bottom there, you've got your hot dog seller extraordinaire, the latest addition to the 49ers backfield, who I have never even heard of prior to him getting signed from somebody else's practice squad, wasn't it? I can't remember where he was signed from. That was it. Yeah, that was it. So
he's a bit like when you play Madden franchise and you get to the season 4 draft and it's like they're not even trying with these made up names anymore. that is what he looks like. So
did you guys pick anybody up on waivers?
No, not this week. So
did I pick anybody up? I tried to get a couple because I needed reinforcements, but I don't think I did. Let me have a look.
No, I didn't get anyone. I had a small bid on Quintus Cephas, but mainly because he's healthy, and that is a rarity on my team currently. But I got outbid for him. But that's it.
Oh no, I didn't. I think I went for Cephas and didn't get him. Went for Osborne, didn't get him. Went for Patterson, didn't get him. Yeah, successful waivers.
Solid effort, mate. Solid effort.
Someone picked up AJ Green though, and Braxton Berrios. Really? Oh, how much did Davis Mills go for? 109. Okay, he went for 10 in ours, so God bless.
I feel like that's 10 more than I'd be willing to pay for it. So
I would be concerned given the significant negative points for interceptions and those sorts of things.
Well, I thought this is just showing my own lack of touch. But I thought they traded for McCarron. Did they cut him? Is he not there anymore? I thought they had Tyrod, then they traded for another QB, and then they took Mills as he was their first pick, who was round 3, wasn't he? So
yes.
Yeah, he was looking like a kind of project stash, and now he's going to be starting. So,
pass.
Could be this year's Jake Luton, who had one semi-reasonable game last year where he got about 20 points, I think. So
he had that one game, and I tried so hard to sell him. And everyone said no.
That's unlike you, mate.
He's riding that wire.
That's unlike you to hit somebody on the trade block the moment there's a sniff of positive news about them.
Listen. 10% of the time it works every time. All right, pal.
Something like that. Yeah, something like that. So, Thursday night football. So we've got, as we've just talked about him, we've got Panthers at Texans. What do we think?
Is that Sam Darnold?
Yeah.
Doesn't look like him, does it?
I mean,
it's because he looks happy now that he doesn't play for the Jets.
Well, there is that, yeah.
He's not seeing ghosts in his peripheral vision.
I've got Adam Gaze giving him.
How'd you get a picture of Davis Mills? Fair play to you.
I presume that's Photoshop, yeah. I think it'd be hard. I know they're better than people were expecting, and I'm always on that bandwagon of they're going to be better than people expect. So I don't believe in the concept of tanking, because it's a 53-man roster, 20-team scout league. Those guys don't care about getting one extra high pick. That isn't going to help them if they're tarnished. But I'd be going with a Panthers on this. I've obviously got Darnold in my team. I was not a Teddy fan last year, but I kind of liked what I saw of him with the Panthers in role. Moved the ball quite well. Didn't finish drives, but I feel like Darnold is a good. He's a solid upgrade in the way that the Rams have upgraded with Stafford. I think people weren't sure on Stafford, and they've seen that he's in a better team, in a better situation, that he's a solid player, real life as well as fantasy. And I feel like Darnold is the kind of light or the junior version of that, as in he is a good kind of QB 10 to QB 22 in that kind of range, but with good coaching, good D. I think he's a good flex start. So
yeah, maybe. 100%. I think that the easy thing for me here is yes to the Panthers, no to the Texans in terms of starts. You pretty much start all the Panthers, wouldn't you? You'd start Robbie. You might start Terrace Marshall just because he's in the slot and he'll get, maybe some of those quick targets. Dan Arnold had a good week last week. I'll put him on the block in a couple of dynasty leagues. He's on the block, ready for a fourth.
Of course, yeah.
So, he had a good week. he got 10, 12 points, I think, didn't he? And that was tight premium. Well, yeah. So he had a decent week. But yeah, I'm not starting any Texans. I had a really good week from Brandon Cooks last week in a couple of places, but you can't start him again. I mean, the Panthers D has actually looked a lot more effective than I think people thought.
The Panthers D, so according to Fantasy Pros, the Panthers D is bottom 8 in points allowed for every position.
Is it?
And it's absolute bottom for running backs.
Is that? Do you mean bottom as in good or bad?
Bottom as in the least amount of points allowed.
So running backs won't score points.
A good thing. A good thing. Bottom's very rarely a good thing, but it's a good thing.
It's a bad thing if you've got Texans running backs, is what he's trying to say.
Right. So yes. It's a good D.
Yes. So they have given near the bottom of the you know what I mean? Near the bottom of the points allowed table.
David Johnson,
I basically just explained that in exactly the same words as I said. That didn't make sense. But hey,
Kev, can you speak to David Johnson, mate? Just tell him he's going to have a little sit down this week.
I'll sit on the bench. Yeah.
Take a weekend off. Take the family somewhere nice.
The problem is, I don't think they're going to get a week off, are they? I think it's going to be like 28 carries for Ingram for like 12 yards, 15 carries for Philip Lindsay for maybe 12 yards. Yeah. David Johnson, slightly less.
Yeah. I'm not starting any Texans. It's one of them where you might be very surprised. It might be an outlier, and all of a sudden they go off and Davis Mills becomes the second coming. But I'm not betting on that. Not in a league I need a win in. But yeah, the Panthers, I'd take all of them.
I think Cooks is the only one that I think you've got that I would consider starting, because he's the only real option. They're just going to have to pepper him with targets. So he's the only one that I would really consider.
Because you bought him from me in a fantasy league, a dynasty league, yeah.
I did, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I did beat you quite significantly this week as well in that same league. But
hey, let's focus on the Warrior Bowl.
But yeah, so are we all agreed on a consensus Panthers win on that one? I assume.
Yeah,
and it could be a bit of a spanking as well. I mean, it's at Texans, right? Yeah, so
yeah,
that maybe helps a little bit, because they did look really good in week 1. I mean, they absolutely battered the Jags, which doesn't seem hard, but they still battered them. They still did a really good job on the Jags, didn't they? They might not have played that well, but they still ran up some points, and I don't know.
No, I feel like it would be the first thing. It would have been a perfect opportunity for them to have gone retro and just re-signed Warren Moon, come out in the Oilers jerseys. You like branding, sell a few shirts, get absolutely shellacked.
Yeah.
It's probably like 70 now, Warren, I guess, considering he played in the 80s and 90s. But I'm convinced he'd still have as much to offer as Mills might have. So.
Exactly. So, moving on from Thursday Night Football then to Foley's fantastically named Pork Pie Playoff. So last week, Foley set the line and said Brady would be outside of the top 10 for fantasy points. I disagreed, said he would be in the top 10. Kev disagreed, said he would be in the top 10. He was in the top 10. He was number 6 on Warrior Bowl points. So me and Kev, representing the guests, get to 1. Foley sat on 0 on the Pork Pie Playoff. So I have set the line this week, and Foley hasn't seen this until we get to this point. So I have said that Saquon will score over 20 points this week. So for context, the most, and this is Warrior Bowl point scoring, the most he's scored in any week so far was last week, and he scored 9.95. So he hasn't broke 10 points yet.
Oh, that's a good line. Well, it's the Falcons, so you're tempting me, aren't you? You're tempting me. I mean, he needs a touchdown and some yards.
Usually how it works.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm gonna take the under, which you look very disappointed about, which makes me happy.
No, I'm glad. I think he will go over 20 points.
No, you don't.
I do. Kev, what do you think?
I'm also taking the under.
Of course you are. You hate running backs.
Yeah.
Kev.
Not just that. Saquon Barkley is the fantasy / NFL equivalent to me of Harry Potter, in that I just don't get what people see in either it or him.
Whoa. Don't do that. Don't do that, Kevin.
It's like behind. If he flips that Kamara shirt around on the other side, he's got a Quidditch shirt.
What don't you like about Harry Potter?
I don't know. It's just not very good, is it? It's just like
how many times have you read the books?
I've not read the books because I'm a grown-up. So
I don't like something. Do you know anything about it?
As I said that, I'm just checking that all my Star Wars Lego isn't in shot above this door. I'm confident with that take. No one can see that. It's just,
you can't not like something until you know what it is, Kevin.
It's just I don't get it. I don't get why people love it so much.
If you haven't read it, how are you going to get it?
I've seen like 7 minutes of one of the films. That's all I need.
If you haven't watched it, how are you going to get it?
This is me. I have strong takes on stuff I have not enough context for.
Okay, that's fair.
It's fair.
No, that is fair. I mean, that's very accurate.
But even playing the Falcons, I'm wary of Barkley. I like some of the stuff I see of him, but I think he's too boom or bust. People are desperate for him to be this kind of monster, like LaDainian Thompson style point scorer, and I just don't think that is him. So I think if you were smart with him, you'd be using him in slightly different ways as a coaching staff, because I think he is a good player, but I don't trust him enough to be a consistent stud player.
Yeah, I think he's being talk with me, but
to be fair, I wholeheartedly disagree with regards to Barkley as his talent. I fully agree with regards to his usage in Garrett, because he's not good.
But, do you agree with the Harry Potter take or not?
I am largely indifferent towards Harry Potter.
So seeing how you reacted to me, that's the safe answer.
I haven't read any of the books. I don't really have any desire to read any of the books. I've seen some of the films in parts.
What the hell is wrong with you people?
But I'm going to take that he will go over 20 points this week. So
I'm going to look at spreadsheets instead.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Despite betting against him, I will be rooting for Barkley, because I will always root for the injured guys as an injured guy. So I feel their kinship.
So you and Kevin and Foley, you're both going under. I'm going over.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Let me taste that pie.
So then to DFS. So again, last week. So the winner last week was Jacob Dreyer. He's won himself $25. Zalan, who we all know as well, came second. He joined right at the last minute because I texted him to say, Zalan, you're normally in this, and we've got one space. Do you want it? And he jumped in just before kickoff, and he got second place and won some money. So there we go.
I spotted he's 13th in the Warrior Bowl standing.
He is. He's on the leaderboard in the Warrior Bowl. Yeah, he's doing very well.
He knows his stuff. That kid.
He knows what he's doing, doesn't he? He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But sadly, Foley beat me. I say beat. He was the least bad. He was 8th and I was 10th. So that's
not the least bad. That's that week that we came 19th and 20th and I beat you. Do you remember?
That was pretty bad. Yeah, that was pretty bad. So that brings us to 1-1 on the score sheet. So these are the teams that we've gone for this week. So Foley, do you want to run through yours?
Yeah, you said this is the first week we've never shared a player, which is really interesting, isn't it? Because I've gone off-piste and you've gone full Foley, which is nice. It's weird. It's very odd.
That's never what you want to hear.
No, I mean, even I'd say you never go full Foley. I mean, come on.
No.
Yeah. I quite like Danny Jones against the Falcons, because who doesn't like anything against the Falcons, including that hot dog man even playing QB. Maybe he transitions from running back. I don't know. Murray might run in 1 or 2 touchdowns because that's what he seems to be doing at the moment, especially if you've got a team against Detroit. They're not really going to throw it, are they? Because you don't really need to. So they're just going to run in stuff. That might be Lamar. It might be Tyson. It might be the hot dog. It might could be anyone. But it could be Murray because he ran one in last week. So he might run a couple in. So that might be good value. Taylor against the Tennessee seemed not to be able to stop any points being scored against them. So I'll take Johnny Taylor there, especially if Wentz is out, isn't he? So it's going to be Jacob Eason. So he's not really going to be relied on to throw the ball. So hopefully they rely on JT to actually run it. Metcalf, I think, is due a big week against a secondary that can't really stop anybody. It looks like Deontay might be out or limited, so I'll take Juju because he seemed to get he was a bit of a target hog in the first week. Oh, sorry, the first half last week because I watched that game live. I just think there's a Bobby Trees week coming because he's not had one in a couple of weeks. So it's been Cooper. I just think there's going to be a Bobby week because maybe the Bucs, because they're a smart team and a smart defense, they zero in on Stafford's favorite target, which is Cup, and maybe Bobby Trees gets a little bit of freedom. Max Williams is just for banter because it's funny. Calvin Ridley because he's Calvin Ridley, and anyone who takes a DST that's not the Cardinals against Jacksonville is mad, as far as I'm concerned. 2-1.
Fair enough.
2-1.
So I did consider Danny Jones because he's dirt cheap and he's playing Atlanta, and he's actually put up fantasy-wise. He's put up two decent scores.
Good last
week. In the last 2 weeks. So, but I didn't. So I decided to go with. So I think that Tampa Bay Rams game could see a ton of points.
Yeah, good
put
point,
up.
Yeah.
So that's why I've gone Stafford and Cup. So the stack there again. I debated whether to go with Woods. Does it swing back the other way? But I figured I'd stick with the favoured target. I also put Antonio Brown in from that game because he was quiet last week. But I did this earlier today, and he's gone on the COVID list, hasn't he, since? So maybe I will have to change him out depending on what happens there. But I did this prior to that. So I've got him on the other side of that game. Seattle, Minnesota, again, I could see loads of points getting put up in that one. So I went with Carson from that game and Osborne because he's dirt cheap. And if he continues to put up half the numbers that he's put up the last 2 weeks, he'll be a good value there. Swift, I've got in there as my other running back. Pitts against the Giants. I think I mentioned right at the start about Pitts. I think he could have a massive week this week. Giants have really struggled against tight ends. He's looked really good. He's probably going to get even more targets if Gage is out. So, yeah, I really like Pitts for this week. Mike Williams, again, Chargers, big week. He's had 2 good weeks. Chargers against Kansas City, that could be points galore in that one. So, again, got him. And then Denver against the Jets. So, again, the Jets are not the greatest offense in the world. Denver's defense is pretty solid. So, yeah, hopefully some points there.
I think there's I've got Brown in Warrior actually, so I'm desperately hoping he clears the protocols. But I think they said 75% chance he doesn't do it purely based on time. Yeah. So he could make it if he's not infected or whatever, and he does his tests at the right time or whatever. He could still play, and if he is playing, I think that's quite a good play if he plays. Yeah.
So yeah, we might have to check. And again, because Rams, they've got a good defense. Obviously, they've got Ramsey and whoever the other guy is. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. So if they're looking at Evans, and I saw some ridiculous stat earlier about the Rams not having given up a pass over 20 yards for a stupid amount of time or something ridiculous.
Really?
So Brown might be an option if he works out the slot. It might be a day for him. But again, if he's on COVID, then I'll have to take him out and put someone else in. But Kev, what do you think? Which way are you leaning?
I would go with Sunshine.
You said that last week.
I know I did. Kev. Yeah. Stop putting bad players in your team that I don't like.
You said that last week.
I feel like even if he is in the COVID suspension list, he isn't going to miss any time practicing because he lives in Tom Brady's summer house, doesn't he? In his gardens, in his grounds. So they'll just work out there. And I feel like Broncos versus the Jets has the ability to be like on FIFA 98 when you could turn off fouls, but there was a 2-footed challenge button and you could just injure everyone on the other team. I feel like that could get messy. Yeah. They have looked really good, that Broncos D, which when I'm not watching the Raiders, I will always try and watch one of those other teams from the conference because I am a self-lover and I like to be unhappy apparently. So
that's why you choose Sunshine's team, yeah.
Yeah. Go on. So, but I just feel like, Broncos. I like Williams. I wasn't a big fan of him coming into the year, but I think Swift has looked really good. And like Lions look like they can run the ball really well, which is
He didn't look good last week.
Well, he looked okay. He was on the 4 minutes highlights at least twice. So.
And that's what's important.
Yeah, that is what's important. So, like, Carson. I'm never that into him, but I don't dislike him. Smith-Schuster did look good though. I will give you that. But then you did pick Max Williams for the Bants. So, right.
It's Jacksonville. Why not?
Big fan of Latavius Murray. He looked good in some of the stuff I saw. So I'm throwing you a bone.
Thanks.
There we go.
I do think it could be one of those games where Daniel Jones gets 0 passing touchdowns and like 88 yards, but somehow has like 250 yards on the ground.
Yeah.
So wild things could happen in that game.
Really
I would not be surprised to read a crazy stat like that. So
that's probably one of the reasons why I'm not so keen on the Saquon line of 20 plus points, because I do think he'll, given that if they get anywhere inside the 5, I think Daniel Jones will just be like, well, I'm just going to walk in here, lads, if you don't mind. And the Falcons D-line will be like, well, yeah, I mean, if you want it, I don't mind. I mean, it's up to you. Walk it in. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. So
there we go.
Sorry, mate.
So that is about us.
Oh, are we done?
We are.
Oh, man. I was enjoying that.
We are done.
I have one question for you, Greg.
Oh, obviously. Here we go.
Where's
the you, Kev?
Button? Oh, it's there.
Who's the best Batman?
The best?
Batman.
Oh, Batman.
Kev, take your time. Don't react. Think and then talk. Because I know you wanted to jump then.
I did.
I feel like Kev's got a name preloaded. He's already got an opinion on this.
He does, and I think he needs to calm down and have a think. Don't react. Don't say George Clooney. The nipples are nipples. Val Kilmer's got a great mouth. You do have to answer though.
Oh right, I was like, are you going to stop?
Yeah,
no. All right. A bit of a nerdy hipster answer, but I like the guy who does Batman in the animated series.
Mark
I believe
Hamill.
he's the Joker, isn't he?
Oh yeah,
I think he's called Conway. Something Conway. I think he might be Kevin Conway. So maybe that's why. But yeah, I was always a big fan of his. And then I prefer video game Batman to any of the film Batmans, if I'm honest. Which is a bit of a Kev answer, I guess.
Oh, Kev, you're so Kevin.
Yeah.
You are so on brand. Don't Google Batmans in film. I can see you Googling Batmans in films.
I was trying to find that guy's name for you. I can't spell animated.
Sunshine.
I mean, I don't have any strong feelings one way or the other, to be perfectly honest with you. So I'm gonna go old school, and I'll just go Adam West.
I like that.
Yeah, but you don't mean
keep
that,
it old school.
But you don't actually mean that, do you?
He's got the best memes and the best gifs. That's undisputable.
Which
that's important.
Which doesn't technically make the best Batman, I suppose.
I mean, I communicate about 80% of the time in gifs anyway. So
they're running down the street with Robin, running with a bomb.
Is that not David Jason?
No.
I was going to say he would be my next
one.
Okay, yeah. So David
Batman.
Jason slightly behind Adam West.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this was a complete failure of a question. So
what's your answer? Oh, right. Okay, then. So you've not got an answer ready there. This is the answer. This is definitive.
The obvious one is Christian Bale. The correct answer is Michael Keaton, because he's a ledge, because he's funny and he's short and he's not very muscly and he's a bit weird and he's got no right to play Batman and he can't turn his head unless he moves his body like this. That's how he turns his head.
He speaks very highly of you too.
He's still in the best ball Survivor League as well.
I love Michael Keaton.
He's been giving you daggers in the group now that you've been thrown out.
Michael Keaton.
I don't hate that, because I do like that Batman due to the age I am and being very into it.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's one of It's one of those things. I watched Space Jam, the original Space Jam, at the weekend.
What a film that is!
With the little one, and I still agree with the take that what a film that is. Even though there's a bit of me objectively in the back of my head that was like, if you saw this now for the first time, would you not hate it? There's a lot of issues.
No,
But
would you?
Just like, be quiet, you.
Is it a bit misogynistic towards?
Slightly. A bit.
Yeah.
Lola Bunny is a tad exploitive for a child's cartoon rabbit. I would be how I would phrase that in a very media studies way. But there is no reason for Bill Murray to be in the film, even though he's absolutely fantastic. no reason whatsoever.
There's always a reason for Bill Murray to be in a film, though, isn't there? Really, let's be fair.
Correct response.
Have I redeemed myself with my Bill Murray?
You have. That's fine.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
good. So there we go on that insightful Batman
power
debate.
Rankings, yeah,
I'm disappointed in you both.
The guy's name is Kevin Conway, by the way. I'm not a huge Batman guy. So I'm honest.
Are you not?
No.
Marvel?
No, I'm not. Not really.
Kev hates the Marvel films.
Oh, he does. Yes, he does. Yeah.
Famously.
Yeah.
Let's not open that can of worms. We'll be here all night.
Well, let's get cracking. Kev, start
real show could stop now.
Start at the beginning. Talk to us. Iron Man 1, where it all went wrong.
I don't mind Iron Man 1. It's okay. But then they remade it like another 17 times with different characters. And it's like, oh, this one's a Panther. Oh, this one's Captain America. Oh, this one's now Star Wars. But it's exactly the same film and setup and plot and script and one-liners. I said, this is why I don't like being on the show late. I'm all worked up now. I've got work.
Greg, have you stopped the stream or are we still going?
We're still going.
We're still going.
So, Avengers Assemble. Kev, they're all together.
Not seen it. I'd rather watch those 7 minutes of Harry Potter that I once saw again than watch any of that dish. So
there we go. On that note, I think we'll call it a day before we get Kev any more riled up. So thank you very much, boys, for joining me. Thank you for everyone that's watched. We will see you all again next week. Good luck in Warrior Bowl. Good luck in all the rest of your leagues, and we'll see you soon.
Expelliarmus.